5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to count down reality TV's most talked about moments with Amanda Bella. Hey everybody, welcome back to Bella Talks TV. This is Amanda Bella, and I've got a great show planned for you guys. It has been a totally bananas.com week in reality TV. I have a list of shit to go through with you. I am in Florida, and I am preparing for Bravo Fan Fest. We are T-minus, what is today? Thursday? T-minus 1 week. Andy Cohen and the gang will be infiltrating Miami. So I'm going to be hitting up. I mean, I should go down there and literally, sometimes I just come on here. You guys know me, but I'll like just start saying random ideas and maybe they'll never happen. Maybe it'll never come to fruition, but this is just where I like record my thoughts. But what if I went down there and maybe took my little mic or something and tried to get some content? We'll see what I'm going to do because I'm confused exactly of what's going on. So I did watch What Happens Live. That is like a huge deal. I did watch What Happens Live this week. It was such a random experience. So it's very professional. I signed an NDA. Basically, you just email. They email you back. They give you options. You kind of go back and forth. You figure out like what the best fit is for you. I specifically had gone back and forth a couple of weeks. If you guys listen to my previous episodes, you'll hear my saga. You'll hear my cries and my woes and what it took for me to get on Watch What Happens Live. Finally, they selected, they gave me some options, whatever, and I'm going through the email. This is like the third week in a row. I'm going through the email of the upcoming guests, and I see Luann. And it was truly like a shining, I was like, oh my gosh, I have an opportunity to ask Luann a question on Watch What Happens Live. Like, I'm freaking out. So I reply, I beg, I plead for my position. I'm like, please choose me to ask a question. They're like, okay, you got it. And then I'm like, please give me away the Watch What Happens Live tickets for in Miami. Like, please, I'm begging you because they've been giving them out to all the virtual callers. I know Bravo. I know that they're not going to give away any more than they have to. But I'm like, come on, help a sister out. Even though technically it's ended, they're not giving them out anymore this week. Even though they should still be giving them out because it's this weekend. But anyways, they don't give me away tickets. I end up going on Facebook, and then I don't know if you guys, if you're really an OG listener, you'll hear how hard it was for me to get a BravoCon ticket in Vegas last year. So it's just kind of reminiscent of that. It's not that it's hard to get the tickets to go to Watch What Happens Live. There are going to be 5 tapings in Miami, Thursday, Friday next week, and then Saturday is the Bravo Fan Fest. So it's like 2 tapings the first day, 3 tapings on Friday, I want to say, or maybe like kind of split up like that, or maybe 1 taping on Saturday. But it's split up, and each of the different ones have themes. Like, let's look them up together. So I hope it will be on Bravo's Instagram because I am curious what's going to be going on with these panels. I mean, they do so much social media. After like one day, you can't find anything. Bravo fan. Okay. Of course, it's always so hard. Like, things are so hard with Bravo. They make it impossible. Bravo Fan Fest. God bless. Okay, Miami, Florida, blah, blah, blah. Show me the schedule. Okay, here we go, people. So the Bravo Fan Fest, Watch What Happens Live, Miami taping schedule is, the first one is Bienvenidos a Miami. When Gina does the London accent, that's kind of like me trying to do any other accent besides Midwest white girl. All right, feel the rush because Miami's hometown housewives are about to be on fire. Okay, so the first one is all the Miami girls. And then that will air on Sunday, November 24th. Then the second taping is Beverly Hills and New York Thrills. It's going to be a mix of Uba, Aaron, Kyle Richards, and more. That's going to air Tuesday. The third filming is Yachties and Hotties, and that's going to be Below Deck, Southern Charm, Summer House. Oh, you guys, how did I not realize Summer House was going to be there? Amanda, Kate Chastain, Kyle Cook, Madison Sierra, Shep Rose, Jesse, Captain Carey, and Captain Sandy. Okay. I'm really burned out on Below Deck, but okay, we're still doing this. We're still doing this, people. Wait, how did I not realize that I'm going to be with everybody from Summer House next week? Oh my God. Alrighty, then the next taping, Snowflakes and Peaches Oh My, Atlanta and Salt Lake City. Cynthia, Lisa, Heather Gay, Meredith, Phaedra, and Portia. Okay, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. I would like to see like Meredith and Phaedra together. I think that that's like a fun mix. I like to see some of these crossovers in the Bravo Labs. And then the 5th taping is Doctors and Wives. So that's going to be all of the Potomac, some of the Potomac Housewives, and then Married to Medicine. So Toya, who I love Toya. She's messy and crazy, but I love her, and Eugene. Dr. Wendy, Mia, and Dr. Simone. So, okay, I'm okay with all of those tapings. Now, the problem that I have with this is that they're $190 plus fees per taping. So $200 times 5 plus fees. So that would have been an extra $1,000 for me to go to all the tapings. And Steve, he would let me do it. But I just, like, in my morals, I'm like, no, because when I was at BravoCon, they were like giving them away at the end of the night. So I'm going to hold out right now. As of right now, I'm holding out. He said just maybe pick 1 or 2 that I really want to go to. So I'm thinking about it. I guess I would definitely do if I was like, okay, I'm going to buy 2 and spend $500, which makes me want to throw up on Watch What Happens live tapings. I guess that I would skip the Miami one because they're all going to be at the Bravo Fan Fest, and I'll go to that panel. I think I would do Yachties and Hotties because it's Southern Charm Summer House. I would do the Snowflakes and Peaches. Those would be my 2. Doctors and Wives, love them, but no. So, okay, those would be the 2. I guess when you break it down like that I would really pay for. Okay, so the actual Fan Fest schedule, just to run through it quickly. They have a doorbell stage. So that's going to be like ding dong when on Watch What Happens Live when Andy's like, who's here? Who's at the door? We've been watching this show for 15 years. So I've been watching it since the first episode. So I'm very familiar with the doorbell. I'm excited to be at the doorbell stage and seeing who's going to be there. Maybe that'll be some live streaming I can do when I'm there. Bravo Besties. That's going to be a mix of a lot of, I'm not going to go through all of these. There's so many. Photo ops. None of these are worth me standing in line. No shade. Doorbell stage is really going to be where it's at, I have a feeling. That's where they always have good ones. Okay, there's a photo op with Amanda and Kyle. Andy always has his own panel where everyone can just go up to the mic, ask him questions. Maybe I should prepare a good question. You guys let me know a question for Andy that I should ask. I never know what to ask. Okay, photo op with Shep and Jesse. I should do that. I did the photo op with Phaedra at a drag brunch, and it was kind of a horrible experience. I need to post that picture. Okay, no filter. I'm going just reading through these. I apologize if you're not on the YouTube. This is probably pretty boring, but okay, no filter BFF stage. It's going to be Lisa, Kiki, Mia. Okay, like thinking about Lisa and Mia being together, that's kind of funny with Portia. Oh, and Rachel Lindsay from The Bachelorette is moderating that, so that's interesting. Doorbell stage. Okay, Lisa and Heather photo op. Already met them and did that. That was fun. I wonder if they're going to be as drunk as they were last time. Okay, Madison from Southern Charm and Sierra are doing a photo op together. Lisa and Marisol are doing a photo op together. Okay, they have a panel with Gertie, Uba, Meredith, Phaedra, Kyle, and Mia. Kind of funny. Wow, you can do a photo with Cynthia and Portia. That's pretty iconic. Maybe I'll stand in line for that. And for the most part, everything else, they always do like Battle of the Bravo Labs. They always have these like silly games. They always have like icebreaker games. Okay, they have a panel called I'll Tell You How I'm Dating Not Well, Bitch. And it's Heather Gay, Dr. Wendy, Shep Rose, Jesse Solomon, and Dr. Whitmore. Interesting. Okay, so what? It's going to be Shep and Jesse kind of like getting information from the ladies. Okay, so this has kind of gone on longer than I thought. I didn't mean to do this whole Bravo Fan Fest section, but I am excited. Shep and Jesse, yeah, they have a lot of different mixtures of random people. There's not that many people there, and I noticed a lot of people are doing more than one panel, which is interesting because at BravoCon, it's not so much that where they do a ton of panels because there's so many Bravo Labs there. So, it's going to be really fun, I think. I would love to know where everyone's going out. I would love to do the photo op maybe and just like be like, where's everyone hanging out? Where's everyone staying? Okay, so that's Bravo Fan Fest. I'm excited, and let's get into the show. So I did Watch What Happens Live with Luann. I was on there. I'm sure everybody knows. I did a contest on my page to have everybody repost, and was able to do a giveaway for that, which felt so good to be able to give back to people that support and were sharing, because you can pay for followers, you can pay for ads, you can pay for, I don't know, like connections or whatever, but to get like authentic people like really caring about you doing cool things and reposting it and sharing and celebrating feels really good. So thank you to everybody who did that. And my biggest gripe with Watch What Happens Live was like, I really didn't test my lighting and I didn't have it together. And I looked a mess, and I wish I would have set myself up better. I mean, the lighting in here is just really bad. We have just a ceiling fan that I have on. I mean, it's kind of scary. But I did my best. I asked Luann, I was like, hey, Lou, I was like, we're dying to know, what is your reaction to Sonia selling the townhouse? And what do you think of her moving to Palm Beach? Have you talked to her? And Lou had the perfect answer. Everybody was loving it. The clips was circulating, and I was living for it. So really grateful for the experience. And I'm really glad I did that. Felt really good to kind of check that off my Bravo bucket list. And I mean, speaking of Bravo bucket list, like I feel like blessed to be able to sit here on my ass on my couch and do this with you guys. Like, not that I have, again, not like I'm like Bono selling out the sphere here, but I have created this even as a time capsule. Like, if you don't watch this today, the day that I am filming it, it doesn't matter. It's like, this is just being able to like, it's a creative outlet for me. It's a place for other people that like want to come and be part of the Bella Talks TV conversation. They can. It's a safe space. And I'm not here to like create content beef, like creator beef, Bravo Leb beef. I'm not here to expose, like, even when I'm like, oh, I'm going to spill tea, like 99% of the tea, like actually 100% of the tea that I've ever spilled has already been spilled before. Like, I've never broken any crazy tea. I've never uncovered somebody, having something crazy in their history and like exposing them. That's just not really like where I'm going with this page. This page is really just for me. It's like my make-a-wish of like, okay, if I could do anything with my day or just like have any type of thing. Kind of growing up, it was always like, oh, I would have like my own little show, where I would talk about pop culture and honestly, fashion. Like, I would love to talk more about fashion in a way of like how Andy does Versace or Hibachi or Versace. It's hard to say, actually. How he does that show. Like, I think that I would love to do that, because to put up like Bravo Love Fashions and be like, is this Versace or Hibachi, like Fashion Police. Like, I used to love that. Like, I just want to just keep doing this show as I can, when I can, God willing, when I'm here, and the reason I mean, we are living in a post-election week. I had no desire to create the show for last week. Like, I was like, we don't need this. Who cares? Like, even though people needed distractions, like, I don't think I could have got on the mic and like been in a place to talk about stuff that's been going on in the last week. So now that I'm here and I'm present and I'm able to be with you guys and like give you my full undivided attention, I'm really happy. So funny. So yeah, I am just really creating this space as a place for me to come yap. And I'm not trying to cause any serious wars. I'm really not trying to spill any crazy tea. And I just want to have a place where I can come and we can be together. So I'm hoping that we can always respect that. Now, a lot of people are getting lost in the sauce out there. We have several different creators that have been under fire that are just taking it a little too far lately. And it's really not shade to them, because I think just like the Housewives, living in this screen, even if it's YouTube, even if it's Instagram and our phones, when you are in a screen and people are logging in and they're engaging with you and you're, in this kind of, ecosystem that we've created, this Bravo content creating ecosystem that we live down here, and then we're all here creating this, and then it gets like fed into the shows, and then they fight, and then it comes back to us, and then it's like we're in this cycle with them. And we just really need the content to like stay on Instagram and not be seeping into real lives. And I was like, I'm not going to like talk specifically about anybody this week, but I think, there's a few different creators that are out there this week that I think just need to, I don't want to say touch grass. I think that's like a little condescending, but I think that they need to like take a step back and breathe and remember, like, it's okay. I don't think you're going to get ahead in life by really bringing other people down. And I just don't I don't know. It's very hypocritical to act like that when we criticize our housewives for acting like that. It's just, I don't know. I look to my housewives to give me an example of kind of like a person who I shouldn't be, kind of like not good people usually all the time. It's not normal behavior. So when you're looking at that and you're mimicking it and trying to like be a housewife of Instagram, it's like, okay, let's stop at the takedown plots. Can we please? Stop at the reveals and the extortion plots. It's getting a little crazy. How can you be mad at Johnny J when you're doing the same thing? Like you're just being like a Johnny J of Instagram. So seeing D's be going out, and I'm not ever trying to catch one. So yeah, what did Tamra call it back in that one season of Rosie? Did she call it assist and decease? Assist and decease. Yeah, not trying to get any of that. So, okay. So besides that, I mean, speaking of Tamra, okay, so the drama and the alleged tea, Tamra, you know you're my girl, and we were just talking last night. So you know that I'm not exposing this if this ever gets back to you in a way. Like, don't come for me, girl. The tea was spilled, and I'm not even going to talk about the girl's Instagram it was, because it's not worth it. But she decided to, I guess, find that Tamra Judge is the captain of Reality Blurb. First of all, what is a captain? I've never heard of a captain of anything besides a basketball team and a Navy boat. So what else can you be like the captain of? Like Captain Sandy? So is it Captain Tamra Judge now? I just don't think that captain, I don't know. It's not adding up to me. Like the math is not mathing. So let's just say she is. Let's say Captain Tamra Judge is the captain of realityblurb.com. Allegedly. Let's just say she is. Now, does that mean that she's a bad person? Because I looked up, and yeah, there's like 1,200 pages or something of articles on her. No, I think the pages have like 3 articles a piece in them or something. So I don't know what it adds up to. There's a lot of articles about Tamra on there. Some of them are very favorable. And the most recent one was that there was a very favorable article that came out about her recently saying that the hate had gone too far on her, and she promoted it. I promoted it. We were both talking in our DMs together about that specific article. So Tam, like, if you are the captain of Reality Blurb, just own it, because it's not really a reality Von Teese. Like, I don't want to be degrading, but it's like she's literally so far down here, and you guys are not even on the same. You also have Vina, and you had Cut, and you've been a housewife for over a decade, and you have all of these other accolades and things. I mean, why not add like media conglomerate to your resume and just own it and be like, I don't like sit at home and like Monica was like stalking outside people's houses and like posting videos, and Reality Von Teese was a mess. Reality Blurb is a $5 million net worth or whatever. I looked up the value of it. That's a real company making a lot of money. So if she's the captain, then all right? There's articles written about everybody on that website. So it's not like it is some kind of media is biased. I mean, that wouldn't be if you guys just learned today that the media is biased, and that based on where you go to get your news, you might get articles that are pro somebody and anti someone else. I'm glad I got to share that news with you today. But okay, people, I'm drinking an Olipop. Let's take a break here. And since I don't ever pay for ads or do this for money or try to monetize anything that I do, let's just talk about something for free. And that's an Olipop vintage cola soda. I've been trying. I mean, I love Dr. Pepper. And I'm not a Diet Coke girl, but I'm a Dr. Pepper girl. And I try to get a healthy soda here and there. It's not the best thing I've ever tasted, but it says plant-powered, probiotic. That's what happens when you're 37. Okay. All right. So let's get into the show, you guys. I've said it 3 times now, but I want to bring back a quick segment that is the no one is talking about. So Bella Talks TV presents No One Is Talking About, but we should be Married at First Sight. Now, I've went online. I went into the dark web today to be like, where do I find the community talking about Married at First Sight? Because the show's been on for 20 seasons or something. Like, there's got to be fans out there, and there's got to be some people. It's got to be, I mean, I know that we can't all be Bravo, but who is talking about this? And I went down a little bit of a wormhole, and I found out that Sarah Colonna, which this makes sense now because she has hosted some of the after shows that have happened. Not the reunions, but some of the after shows that they do. So with Married at First Sight, they have the show. Then they have the after party, which is hosted by Keisha Knight Pulliam, which my mom and I will text each other every episode and be like, how did this woman get this job? She's one of the worst reunion after party hosts ever. And she was pregnant all last season, and every episode she would be like, I can't drink, because just like on Andy's show, they always have like a drinking, like a cocktail of the night. She'd always be, none for me and the baby. And like, we know, Keisha, you're 10 months pregnant. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm triggered already talking about her. So anyways, they have that. And they also do these like fun other little catch-up shows. And they have like the Married at First Sight couples couch. And they do really good, like making like a 90-day fiance world out of this. So I appreciate that about them because we love content. So on Lifetime, love it. I've been soaking up every episode. There's been 4 episodes so far of the new season of Married at First Sight. It was filmed in Chicago, which you know is very near and dear to me. Chi-Town, rise up. And I am loving this season. So again, there are 5 couples. And what we know from so far from this season is, if you guys, again, the premise of the show, 5 couples, kind of like Love is Blind, have never seen each other, meet for the first time, but at this time it's at the altar and they get legally married right as they meet for the first time. It is, the best show on TV, pretty much. So if you're not watching it, you're really missing out, because I found community people to talk about it. Sarah Colonna, coming back to that, she has a podcast that is called something so random. It is called Are You My Podcast? ? And I don't know what that's from, but she recaps Married at First Sight with this girl, Mary Radza something. And I love Sarah Colonna, and she goes back to Chelsea Handler and ties into Heather McDonald, which, if anybody here is a juicy scooper, Heather is a little bit of an inspiration for me, not, in some ways. I'm going to keep it cute and mindful and demure, but in a lot of other ways, like she has built a really big juicy scoop, empire. And it is, I really am like, I tip my hat. So respect. So I'm not going to say anything bad about her, but Sarah Colonna and her, they just come back to Chelsea Handler to me, and I love it. So that's how I know her. If you don't know that, you don't care about anything what I'm saying, I mean, I'm sorry, but if you do care about Married at First Sight, and you do want to get more content and listen to a really funny podcast where they talk about it, check out Sarah Colonna, and please go watch that show if you're not. It is just so good. So we know that for the first time this season, 2 of the couples switch. So there's a wife swap that happens, and that's never happened in all the seasons of Married at First Sight. So we are anxiously awaiting and watching every episode. Like, when is this going to happen? We're starting to see some cracks in the foundation. All the couples are on their honeymoon in Mexico, and things are already starting to go off. So please watch. Okay, so that's my beg and plead for that. Okay, moving on to my OMG and my LOL of the week. We'll keep it real short here too, because of course I'm like, always so long-winded. So OMG of the week is going into the Gypsy Rose drama. So you guys know I love Gypsy Rose. I have been following her and really been up her ass since she got out of prison, because every day with her is a new adventure, a new magical rainbow journey filled with unicorns and drama, and her having this desperation to, I think, be everything that she's not. And it's very fascinating just from a sociological, psychological standpoint. I really thrive. That's where I find my best reality TV obsessions are in these really deeply delusional characters. And one of my favorite things about Gypsy, which, girl, I'm sorry for listening, this, you probably want to turn it off right about now, but is this idea that I think she was prison hot, or that she is really hot for anime girls, or really hot for Comic-Con girls, or even really hot for a disabled girl. Yeah, I'm going to say it. back when she was faking it. I think that was like what she was always going for. Like, okay, I can't compete with like really hot girls, but like I can be the hot of like the nerdy, ugly girls. And so I think the rise to fame gave her a delusional lens, plus, you know, the plastic surgery. I really have to give it to them, because I think if Gypsy had any money or more money, or just, you know, because we all know that you're not ugly, you're just poor. And it sounds really mean, but it is kind of true. And she got some plastic surgery. She got some free stuff done. Her teeth, they look beautiful. The free teeth working. We love the teeth. Beautiful smile. And then she also got the nose job. And I think we all were thinking it, including Gypsy herself, when she got the nose job, like, oh, we kind of wish it was like a little bit better. Like, it was good. And it was, I mean, the nose was crazy before, but we were hoping it was going to be like a little bit cuter, and it wasn't so like Whoville, and it's still a little big, and she's still working with the nose. So she didn't get rid of that. And I think that kind of still holds her back. Then she did the chop and the dye with the blonde, which I've been through my own hair journey. I was promising you guys to be brown, and when I went in and asked to go darker, this apparently was literally 5 shades darker, and my hair was just white before. So we're working towards a normal color again. But with Gypsy, she was like, no, my Ken likes Barbie, my Ken likes blonde. I need to go blonde. Like, if you guys remember, she told the story about how she tried to like pull and razor blade her hair off in prison because it was brown, and she wanted to be blonde so bad. So she's blonde now. She's got the teeth. She's got the nose. And then she would have been Zempy. She would have been like hitting that Zempic, but she couldn't, because then she got pregnant. So she got pregnant with Ryan's baby. Or, oh my God, could you imagine? I mean, that's what we're getting to, but maybe is that like the universe trying to tell me that something fake is going on? Because you guys know the conspiracy theories. So recently she just announced that she took a paternity test officially. Finally, the fans, everybody in the world has been calling to find out who is the daddy of Gypsy's baby. Because is it Ryan, who she was still legally married to but separated from for like 48 hours when she went to go meet up with Ken for the weekend and then got pregnant? So was it Ken or Ryan's baby? We knew that when the baby was being born, unless she got the paternity test in utero to prove that it was Ken's baby, then it would have to be Ryan's last name on the baby, on the birth certificate, because she would still be legally married to Ryan at the time of the conception and the time of the birth, because the marriage has not been settled yet. Now, recently, Gypsy was in the comments getting into a fight about Taylor Swift tickets, because she was saying she tried to go into their mutual bank account, which has been frozen, and basically it's like frozen because it's in mediation for the divorce. Gypsy tried to go in there and spend $12,000 on Taylor Swift tickets. $12,000. Does not seem like a sane decision that a pregnant woman would do, especially when she knows she can't take the money out of her and Ryan's bank account. It has to come from like her own money. $12,000. So then she tries to come back and say, oh yeah, well, Ryan tried to like gamble a bunch of my money away, which I do believe Ryan's sports betting. I believe that he would love Ryan from the OC. He should link up, and Ryan from the OC and Ryan from Gypsy should do a like DraftKings ad together. Because I guarantee, yes, Gypsy, when she's like, yeah, Ryan's gambling the money away, like I believe that too. But I digress. We have now determined that Ken is the father. So what does that mean? It means that Gypsy now wants Ryan back, because this girl cannot have non-chaos. She cannot have peace. She hates peace. So Ryan was smacking some girl's butt on his TikTok, and Gypsy went on her Instagram and she was like, not my husband. That is my husband. All of a sudden it was her husband that she's been trying to get divorced from desperately, and that she's pregnant with another man's baby with. This woman, I love her. We can never lose her. We can never lose her. She goes in the Hall of Fame of reality TV stars. Some of you would say she's a schmurderer, not a reality TV star, but I would say two things can be true at the same time. The new season is filming right now, which makes me so happy that all of this is going down on camera. So as far as the rumors go, there are a bunch of rumors, of course, at the paternity place that did the test and all the stuff. And, who knows. But I do believe it's Ken's baby. I don't know why Ken wants to be with her. Every other day, Gypsy's deleting photos of them on Instagram. She's one of those girls where I think when they get in fights, she archives and then they puts the photos back. And then, it's very Lala and Rand. I've never done that, which I want to just knock on wood and also just tell everybody out there, like, it's very possible to have a healthy relationship that is not toxic like that. Like, I've never done that with my husband ever. I've never deleted a photo of us or that is so weird. So, okay. So anyways, that's why I love Gypsy so much, because she does the opposite of what I would do in any given scenario. So she is going to be due soon. I mean, we had we had the gender reveal. I don't think she's had a shower yet because we had Lindsay Hubbard's shower, and Lindsay and Gypsy are due the same day. Don't forget that my Barbenheimer, Gypsy house, the Hub Gyps baby that's coming I'm on baby watch. So, all right. So that was my OMG of the week, was just the fact that Gypsy was acting crazy and getting so into Ryan's business again. And the fact that she was trying to call him her husband. And then she also made we didn't even talk about this other crazy TikTok that she made, that she goes, it's like a lip sync, which I'm also getting into my Gen Z TikTok era and doing lip syncs now. So make sure you're following me at Bella Talks TV on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. But okay. So she does this lip sync and she's like, oh my God. So then she made this crazy TikTok and she was like looking into the camera and she's like, you would be crazy not to want me back. Like, talking to Ryan. Unhinged, but also iconic. Gypsy is mother to me. She is mother to me. Okay, so moving on. Let's go into my LOL quickly of the week. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because, again, I just went on a big Gypsy rant. But my LOL of the week was the House of Villains, again, coming in every week, making me laugh, having these moments where I'm pausing, crying, and just having to record and take the moment in. So there's this moment in the most recent episode where Teresa and New York, Tiffany Pollard they're really starting to go at each other. They're in the bedroom, they're freaking out. And now I thought this was actually fake and scripted for the show, but now I see what happened. This could still have been fake. This totally could have all been fake, actually. I believe anything is possible in reality TV, that it could be somewhat produced or whatever. But Victoria tells Tiffany in passing that because Teresa is the one who originally said it. See, these are the moments where you're like, no, this cannot be scripted. Teresa's hanging out with Victoria and she goes, if I was put up for supervillain, I would put up Tiffany. And when she said that, Victoria was like, wow, you would. And there was definitely a little bit of a moment where that really happened. Now they were sitting by the pool, and I think that was one of the off cameras that caught that. So I don't think Teresa knew she was being filmed. But hello, production. So they catch her saying that Victoria goes and tells Tiffany that if Teresa were to become the supervillain, she would nominate her for the hit list. And Tiffany went off, once accusing Louis of cheating on Teresa because only a guilty man sends 6 dozen roses, which true. Gross. What a weirdo. And that's hey babe, sorry, I spent all your money on legal fees defending a narcissistic abuse charges. I hate him. Okay, so they're getting into a fight in the closet. They're going back and forth. That's not even the funny part. The funny part is that after Teresa gets into this fight with New York, she's in this manic state. She goes into the kitchen. She's pacing and she's kissing the roses that Louis sent her and was oh, I love my roses. And she's going on in the kitchen and everyone's kind of laughing. And then she's going, you're a fresher breath air and you're a fresher breath air and you're a fresher breath air. And everyone's laughing. They're like, Teresa, no, it's a breath of fresh air. And she's and she's saying things and she's all frazzled. And then Candy comes down in drag, full drag. And Teresa's like, bah! She does this cackle scream when she sees Candy. And she's like, you look just like me when I was growing up. And then they do this side by of Candy and Teresa, with Teresa back in the 80s at the shore with the hair all teased up. And it does look exactly like Candy. I was crying. The House of Villain producers are really working hard over there. That was fucking so funny. So please go watch House of Villains. So good. Loving this season. Now let's go into my top 5 countdown. My number 5 most talked about moment of the week is Lala firing Jess. So we're going to have to, speculate here a little bit. Everything's going to be alleged and for entertainment purposes only here. But why do you think Jess quit, you guys? Or do you think that she got fired? Let's talk about it. So I have a couple different theories. One theory, actually my favorite theory that was thrown out there, is that this happened like the day after the election. And a lot of people speculated that they had some huge fight about the election or possibly about voting or something like that. And that could have potentially led to some kind of like huge fight with them where Jess maybe quit or Lala fired her. The second conspiracy theory is that I believe actually that this has been coming for a long time and that Jess knew. I don't think this was a rash decision. I think it was coming for a long time. I think Jess had a feeling that she was moving on and wanting to kind of like distance herself from the kind of like the stink. Because remember when Jess came on to work for Lala, she was still with Rand. Rand hired her to be his assistant, her assistant, whatever. Remember when Brock was trying to plan the proposal to Sheena with the movie star premiere on the rooftop and tried to get Rand to pay for it? And then they sent Jess to do it. And Jess was like, who's paying for it? And Brock was like, Rand. Oh my. And we have to talk quickly about the tea that was, oh my God, I'm laughing. Okay, so Brock is a messy boots. He's literally the boots. I hate listen to shenanigans. You guys know this. I will listen to every single word. I've been listening to Sheena's podcast since the beginning of its inception. So I'm listening to it way before Brock. I'm going to get through the Brock episodes with him. Even with the Summer Moon, I do 30 ahead, when they're talking about Summer Moon. But when they get to the good stuff, it's really good. And when they talked about going to pick up their child from school, Summer Moon, and running into Rand because Lala's child goes there and JAX and Cruz all goes there and they're all running into each other at the child's school. Brock goes on to say that he actually believes that her boundaries with JAX have been wishy-washy and that's why it's kind of like fake and also like hard to be like, yeah, go Brittany, when she's just gonna probably go back to him, I think is what he's trying to say. Like, how are we all gonna say this? Like, they're not really even divorced. They're not divorced yet. Yeah, sure, they filed, but until anything is done, it's not done. And I think everyone thinks that she's gonna go back to him because apparently behind the scenes, as it was revealed on the Hot Mic podcast with Alex Baskin, who is the executive producer of Vanderpump Rules in the Valley, he had both Brittany and JAX on this week, back-to-back podcasts. And it seems as though Brittany is still hitting up JAX and wanting to hang out with him, get dinner, hang out, sleep together, have sleepovers, get drinks. Now, Brittany tried to say, oh, no, this is called co-parenting. No, it's not. I don't want to speak for everybody and don't want to generalize. But I think most people, when they are done, get divorced or whatever, don't they want to like not sleep with their ex anymore? Don't they want to move on? So now, again, you guys know I ride hard for my Jaxie boy, so I'm sorry. I'm going to end it after this. I'm keeping this one short. But all I'm going to say is that I do think she's wishy-washy. I do think that she does things for Candace. She panders to the audience. I don't think she's being authentic. I think that she probably would still be wanting to keep her family together if she didn't have the show keeping her accountable. And if the show didn't exist and all of these things just happened like in their normal life, they would still be together. I'm betting it. I'm just betting $100 on it or whatever. Like, I bet that they would still be together if the Valley never happened. So that's what we're going to say. Now, the fact that Alex Baskin is the one putting these like, he's really wanting them to talk and like kind of like spoil a lot. It's making me think again that a lot of this is scripted. Okay. I don't know. The Julian stuff, when she slept with Julian behind Jax's back, I believe that was all real. I think Lala really is pissed about that. So yeah, coming back to Lala, did she fire Jess? Did Jess quit? No one really knows. Jess said that she was not given the opportunity to come onto the podcast and say goodbye to everybody. Podcast is really bad with Jess and Easton, and I think they both should go. So Easton should go next. So yeah, I'm not sure if it really matters, but I'm happy that Jess got away. I see sometimes people call her Jessica. That's kind of mean, but it is funny. Okay, moving on to my number 4 most talked about moment of the week is going to be the prank that happened over on the Real Housewives of New York City. What the fuck was that? All right, let's talk about it. So Becky Minkoff, who I actually kind of like her. Don't ask. I kind of like her. So she did build this huge company. And the fact that she's still Jewish, but she's also a Scientologist. And I know that they, I don't know. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt on a couple of things right now. And I'll just leave it at that. But I'm not going to forgive her for doing this prank with Aaron, which I do believe was Aaron's idea because Aaron keeps doing pranks. And we saw her do the cockroach and the pavlova. We've seen her do these other pranks. I know the prank with the sunglasses, right? She hid the sunglasses. When is she going to learn the pranks are not landing, sister? Stop doing the pranks. Everyone's begging you to stop. Is she going to learn though? Is she going to listen? No, because I guarantee they're going to do another season. So is she going to actually listen? So they decided to do this prank, which I believe Aaron concocted to tell Becky, everyone's calling you boring, whatever. You don't have a storyline. We need to come up with something. And she's like, okay, let's tell everybody that I'm pregnant. And what they should have done is probably just leave it at that. Like leaving it at Becky could be pregnant would be at least enough to make it somewhat interesting. No, because I'm already, as I'm talking this out, being like, there's nothing funny about a pregnancy prank ever. That's why we don't do it on April Fools. So anyways, the more of the prank is supposed to be that she's really like cheating on her husband. Cool. That's not really a prank either. And then the extra layer of this is that she got pregnant by some random person on like a wild night out. Well, she has 4 other kids. Wow. Cool, funny prank, Aaron. Hilarious. So I'm not trying to hate on you. It's just, it is dumb and we have to say it. So let's never do that again. And I would suggest going forward, truly looking into your lives. Let's just talk about everybody for a moment. Jessel, to me, is bringing real storyline with the baby. I do believe that that's real. I do believe that she does want a girl. I believe it. Everyone's like, oh, it's so fake. I don't think that's fake at all. I actually do think she wants a girl. I think her husband, maybe what could be fake or played up for TV is Pavitt like saying no. Maybe he doesn't care as much and maybe he's doing that for TV a little bit. But fine, I'll accept that. It is a TV show. Now, moving on to Erin, she has a lot of real stuff going on. I mean, this bitch really is pregnant. Then, on top of that, she had her dad pass away. Her mom is really sick with breast cancer. They talk about that. They take her wig shopping. I mean, I thought that was very real and that a lot of women relate to having a mom that had breast cancer or have any type of cancer. So I think that was real. She didn't need to do the prank. She didn't need to do the fake stuff. So that's the frustrating part is like we didn't need it. So unfortunately, that was a miss. Uba has so much real stuff to talk about. This girl has businesses like the hot sauce. Ooh, let's talk about a conspiracy theory here. So she says right now that because she does not want to bring on partners and she wants to be the sole owner and the sole controller of Uba Hot, the hot sauce that she created, she does not want to pursue doing that right now. And I think that means she doesn't want to show it on Bravo because we know about the Bethany clause, the skinny girl clause, that if she shares it on TV, they're going to take a cut of it. And she doesn't want to share the profits with Bravo for putting it on the show and promoting it. Okay, well, that's a miss. You are a housewife and whatever, give them the 10%. Because you wouldn't be able to sell any of the bottles of it without the platform. That is the point. It is a you help me, I help you situation. Plus, you're being paid to be on the show. Okay, so besides the hot sauce, she also is a fucking amazing international beautiful model. I don't think she is just in Dress Barn, like Bren said. And then on top of that, now she does have this amazing relationship. She's trying to, it sounds like, get pregnant over 40, which I'm interested in hearing about. And I feel like because she's refusing to share him and she's going into this really, really huge mistake that you can never make. Only decide to not show something if you're a friend of. You cannot be a full-time housewife and hold that apple and stand there tall and not show your man. It has to be done. Even film a lunch, get a fucking cocktail on the top of the Rockefeller Center. Like, have a scripted conversation with him and just appease everybody. You cannot go into this. Well, if Jenna can do it, Jenna can. I'm sorry. She is very fun to imitate, and I see why Brynn doesn't. And it's not like a racist thing. I think everybody gets into like their watch what crappens mode where they start like imitating and doing impressions. So, I mean, just I can see her like, it would be frustrating. So because she won't show her man and all this stuff, she's out for me. If she gets pregnant, she has to show him. My God, I can't get into this stuff. So, okay, so that is the thing. Then we have Brynn, who I just think should be gone. I think she's the cancer of the group, and I do think she needs to leave. That's all I'll say. Not the show for me. Now, if they want to do a spin-off show with Brynn, Lindsay, Paige, Amanda, Danielle, I would even throw in, I don't know, just like the younger ladies of the show, but they have to live in New York. So it's going to be hard besides that. Maybe bring back like Sam, Maya, I don't know, dig into some of those archives and then bring in new people that are younger in New York that are not housewives. I would be down for that show. Brynn, goodbye. And then I think that we should also talk about Jenna Lyons because I'm obsessed with Jenna Lyons. I actually think that she brings a lot to the show. I think that she is her authentic self. I'm always tooting her horn. I really like Jenna. And I think that just because, I think that she's going to show, like she's going to continue to unpeel the onion layers and continue to show us more and more each season. And let's just continue to give her a chance. I really love Jenna. I think she's great for the show. And Raquel, I really love Raquel and Mel. And then Gabe, adding in Gay Abe to the group. We have some things that are working over there with that prank. God awful. So, all right, let's move on from the prank and let's just hope it never happens again, Aaron, please. Moving on to my number 3 most talked about moment of the week is the Golden Bachelorette finale. So this was shocking to me. So I thought I had been spoiled for me. I was reading everywhere. She didn't pick anybody. She leaves alone. And all of the, the Bachelor Nation loves to do a little promo where they show things for the season and they always like tease a ring on a finger or tease like a wave crashing with like a ring. Like it always looks like, okay, we know we're getting to an engagement. But this time she's standing there. She looks distraught and they're not in the promo, like they just don't make you feel confident that an engagement does come. Hold on, I have the hiccups. So they just don't have like the confidence that you're going to make it to an engagement at the end. And so all season I'm worried, I'm nervous. I'm like, does she propose? Does she want the proposal and the guy's not ready? Like, does Joan get her heart broken? Like, they're really good at kind of leaving you in this gray area and being like, I have no idea what happens. Like, I'm nervous. So I was really nervous for Joan. And in the season finale, they do a really like Golden Bachelorette thing and they do a cruise. And they decided to do a cruise through Bora Bora, which I think is in Tahiti, or if Bora Bora and Tahiti are places in Indonesia, something like that. And they go on this cruise and they're stopping and that's where the proposal is going to happen, or the engagement episode. And then as they arrive, Pascal leaves. And I did not see that coming. I thought Pascal was going to be one of the last 2, potentially even the guy that got chose. So I was actually pretty shocked. I was leaning more of the idea that maybe she was going to choose Pascal and he was going to say no, he wasn't ready, and that it was going to end in like a crazy drama. So no, that's not what happened. Pascal kind of left on his own and was like, Joan, like I just can't get there with you. And so then she was down to Guy and Chalk. And Chalk, he's been a steadfast, he's been a good guy. You can't really say anything bad about him. He's like serial killer nice. And then we have Guy, who online has had a kind of a bit of a bad boy reputation. And I was actually thinking that Joan was going to maybe choose him too, because he is like a hot doctor that's like rich and lives like on the lake in Tahoe. Like, yeah, I think Joan was like, okay, this could kind of be like my life. But she ultimately goes with Chalk. And I was really surprised because I didn't think that she was going to have an engagement. So I'm like, holy shit, this is really happening. And they have the engagement. Her and Chuck get engaged. They're in the after show, which if you guys don't know the comedian Jared Freed, oh my God, he's so funny. And he does these like live screams, he calls them, of like the live, like live comments of the Bachelor episodes. And he calls it like the dome of the undateables. You know, when they do the tell all episodes and they're in that like studio, he calls it, yeah. He's like, we're back in the dome of the undateables. It always makes me laugh. But they're back in the dome of the undateables. They're at the they're at the finale. And it's really crazy. Like, it's just crazy to see them together. Something coming off to me that like Joan was pressured, that Joan was going to pick no one, tried to leave. And the producers were like, absolutely fucking not. Get your ass back in there and get engaged. We're going to give you $1 million. And she did it. allegedly. Because I think that they do actually throw a lot of money around and give bonuses on these situations, everything that I've heard, and that there's a lot of incentives to get to these markers. So now we're going to have a wedding. So that's another thing that she's going to get paid for. So we're going to have a golden wedding and all this stuff. It's going to be, a whole thing. So now last time with Gary and Teresa, that was really rushed because they wanted to get it on a New Year's Eve golden wedding. And as we know, that only lasted like 28 days or something. So, alrighty. So yeah, that's my number 3 most talked about moment of the week, is the fact that Joan ended up with Chalk, the love bomber, who, I don't want to say anything too bad about him. I really wish them well. I do. But he did come off really strong and barely knew her. So maybe at that age, you just know what you know. She seems happy. But I cried. Of course, I always cry. And they showed at the finale that they took both families to Disney World together. I love ABC, Hulu, Disney, like all being conglomerates together. Very NFL, like when they win the Super Bowl and they're like, what are you doing next? We're going to the Disney World. It's like the Golden Bachelorette. What are you doing next? Going to Disney World. So that's my number 3. On to my number 2 most talked about moment of the week, the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And everyone's having the conversation about the husbands. And if the husbands are getting a little too messy and a little too involved in the show. And I think we should have a little discussion here about this because I'm curious. Now, let's get the obvious out of the way. Bronwyn's husband, Todd, is terrifying. He's giving me daddy vibes, but not in a sexy way. He's giving me like my actual dad, father vibes. So it's not working for me personally, but money can be very blinding. And I think that she chose a life very strategically. And, she had done a lot before Todd. They've only been married for 10 years. So she's lived a life. She's my age, but she did have a whole ass daughter and all this drama with her, husband. And then the other, like I said, the content creator beef going on where, like I said, I'm not going to out any of my content creator sisters in Bravo, but my friend was talking, exposing kind of how on the after show, it was allegedly said that Bronwyn had told the family that she didn't either have a daughter or miscarried or give the daughter up for adoption or something. The daughter was misplaced. And that Bronwyn told the family that the daughter was misplaced, which was not true. So it's a big deal to kind of say that. And I don't think I would say that personally. But I think, sometimes we get swept up in these things. But yeah, the way that Todd acts about it. So now you guys know I was talking a couple weeks ago about how Gwen went to a therapeutic boarding school a la Paris Hilton. And I'm connecting some dots that I think that was probably Todd's idea. Like allegedly, again, oh my God. Bronwyn, if you're listening, I'm sorry, girl. This is just alleged fanfic that I am saying. Don't sue me. But in my head, like he just seems the kind of guy that would be like, I'm not dealing with this. She's got to go somewhere. And we're going to pay to make this go away and fix her. And I can just kind of like see him saying that. So, maybe I'm just really wrong here and I would love to be wrong. But he's really showing us on these episodes that that's like kind of the vibe I'm getting from him. So beyond this, we have the Justin and John Barlow fight where at Angie's Mob Wives party, Lisa kind of came up to Justin and called Whitney a liar. And then everybody was kind of scuffling there a little bit. And there was a push. There was a chest push that happened. And then the guys had to go sit down where John Barlow couldn't parallel park. And then they had to have the sit down and have the mashed potatoes and decide whether or not they were going to squash the beef. And they did. And then they went to Palm Springs and the beef got brought back up in the hot tub between Lisa and Bronwyn because they're mad that Heather was FaceTimed. And then when the scuffle starts getting loud in the hot tub, Todd again floats his ass over there. And he's like, why don't you guys just call Heather? And they're all like, Todd, we just called her. Thanks. Thanks for the hot tip. Stay the fuck out of it. And Talene was like, Talene. I have a very Talene ponytail today. She's like, talk about my husband. So yeah, I think the husbands maybe are getting a little too involved, but I actually kind of living for all of the mess. Like I'm not as frightening. John is hilarious and he's delivering lines and hitting marks this season. Justin, I think Justin seems really fun to hang out with. Like he seems like the most fun out of all of the husbands who's just like there to have a good time. Sean, the way he was standing up for Angie this week. Yes. Sean is the true daddy of this house husband situation. The way that he would like eloquently put Meredith in her place this week, he did a very good job. And I like Meredith. Meredith is the perfect example of a housewife that I love, but she's dead ass wrong. Like she is wrong on everything. But I still like her. Still like her as a person. I still think she's really fun and cool and hilarious. I do. So what are you gonna do? Alrighty, so the husbands, are they too involved? Are they not enough involved for you? I mean, husbands have made waves on other franchises. We obviously know in Jersey they are beloved. I always kind of loved them being into the mess. And like we would have not had all of that without Joey Gorga. Like we needed him. He's the glue of RHONY. If they're going to try to reboot RHONY and have no Gorga in it, then I believe that it should just be done. Move on to a whole new thing like they did with RHONY, and they're going to have to reboot it then. But they need to have a Gorga in there. So I think Teresa and Melissa should actually squash the beef. And I heard some silly rumor, which everybody puts out random stuff all the time, but that she was saying that she would. That Teresa actually did say, okay, I'm willing to try this season to actually do this. And then people think Louis is the one that's pushing for it behind the scenes. Being like, hey, we really need, A, we need the money. It would be their highest paid season yet. B, it's good for you and your mental health. Make up with them. Quit fighting. So we'll see. So if the husbands are getting involved over there and it ends up being good, then good. Now over on Beverly Hills, when the husbands get involved, I love PK. PK is one of my favorite house husbands of all time. I think that he's going to also be involved in this upcoming season. I'm very excited. Mauricio, hello. We need the drama with Mauricio. We need him to be involved. Who else is the husband? I was going to say something really shady about Sutton and Garcelle, but I'm just going to not. I'm going to save that one because you guys, you know what? I am trying. I do try. I am not like just a bitch to be a bitch. I don't just say things to be mean. All right. Even if you think things, you shouldn't always say them. All right, let's move on to my number one most talked about moment of the week, which is the Teddy Joe affair, because it is the most like random thing, I think, ever, but everybody is talking about it and it is quite salacious. So this week it was revealed that Teddy Joe Mellencamp married to Edwin Arroyo. I hope I'm saying that right. That they're getting divorced because he got cheated on by Teddy because Teddy's cheating on him with the horse trainer. And the horse trainer is actually married and had a pregnant wife and was with Teddy when the baby was born instead of being where the baby and the wife were in the hospital. So there are some deep cuts in this affair. Now, Teddy just had a baby not that long ago with Edwin. I believe that was a post-cheating baby. I believe Edwin cheated first, allegedly. They had the baby to save the marriage. It didn't work. Teddy still felt time to move on. But I still think she should have got divorced first. Now, the paparazzi picture that we saw of Edwin and Teddy yesterday of her moving out was him kissing her on the head. That's not a I'm mad at you move. That's a I'm going to miss you shit move. I think that Edwin is sad that this is over, would be my guess. And that he maybe didn't want this. But maybe he did. And if he did cheat first, like the rumors say, then I guess this is, you can't always put the vase back together. So, okay. Anyways, Teddy had this affair. Edwin, he's looking really weathered. I'm going to, prayers up for Edwin. Now, Teddy and this horse trainer, it seems like a very non-sexual relationship. Teddy just seems like asexual to me in general. So obviously it's very emotional. I don't think it was just like she needed to like fuck. Pardon my French. But I'm not getting that. I think she was really looking for a connection with somebody over something that she loves, which is horses. The daughter is in the horses, the whole thing. So very interesting. I'm trying to think what else has been spilled about this. Besides the fact that he missed the birth of his own child to be with her, he's giving me scumbag vibes and not giving me like the type of person you would want to leave your family for. But I think that sometimes when somebody wants out anyway and they find like an avenue or a reason, this is it. I think a lot of people are trying to say like, oh, she's doing this for attention or to try to get back on Housewives. I don't think so. I think that she was, I think this is a real affair. And then I think that she is a little bit delusional to think it probably wouldn't hurt to keep herself relevant. But I think that it was actually his wife that exposed the affair. So it's not like Teddy like leaked it to Radar Online. So that's the number one most talked about moment of the week is Teddy and her affair. I can't believe Teddy Mellencamp is the number one most talked about moment of the week, but people are really shocked by this. And I guess I am too. I don't think it's very cool of her. I think they should have both gotten divorces. A double affair is pretty wild. Small children involved. It's going to be really messy. I think Teddy and her husband have a lot of money. That's going to need to be mediated and assets. I mean, allegedly, you guys remember the rumors that like Edwin's security company was involved when Dorit and Kyle and all these places were getting robbed, allegedly. Okay, yeah, I'm going to leave you with that little conspiracy theory. And yeah, I'm trying to think what else is going on this week before I leave you guys. I don't think anything. Next week is going to be Bravo Fan Fest, so stay tuned for the spillage of the teage. All right, I'll leave that with you guys. Thanks for coming to listen to my countdown. I love each and every one of you. Please make sure you're following me on social media at Bella Talks TV. I'm in my Gen Z TikTok era over on my TikTok, and I am going to be here in Florida until March, so stay tuned. All right, love you all. Have a great weekend. Ciao, Bellas.